Alright, Jammer here with a review of Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis. Being played on the Retro Gen adapter here, which I do recommend by the way if you have a Super Nintendo but not a Sega Genesis, and I'll likely do a review of it at some point. This game was a lucky find several years ago when I had no idea that Konami had released an original Castlevania game for the Sega Genesis. It follows the classic whip-slinging linear stage and gameplay style of the previous games, but with some fun new features in the sub-weapons, and how the two different playable characters control. Graphics are also quite moody, and at times gory and unnerving. Particularly chilling is the metamorphosis of the Versailles stage boss. And speaking of Versailles, another aspect that is distinct in this game among most other Castlevania titles is that you are exploring dangerous and creepy renditions of famous locations in mainland Europe and the UK, both real and imagined. This is in contrast to most Castlevania games, where the setting is in and around Dracula's castle. If you have played the other 2D Castlevania games, particularly older ones, you kind of know what to expect. There is that slight delay between when the attack button is pressed and when the attack animation actually does damage that needs to be accounted for, and jumping can't be altered well mid-jump. Your main advantage comes from the range of the character's weapons and sub-weapons. Additionally, sub-weapons have special attacks that can be activated by holding up when pressing the sub-weapon button. So after getting a hang of the gameplay, it's just a blast, with creepy settings, impressive effects, catchy music, and loads of fun and daunting bosses. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are two main characters to choose from. Both are fairly similar, but John uses a whip and has more attack options while in the air, while Eric wields a spear and can attack at more angles on the ground. And so what results is that some of the bosses are easier with Eric, assuming that you can hit them from the ground, while other bosses are easier with John, particularly the ones that fly. And beyond that, Eric and John do have distinct abilities that let them travel to exclusive parts of some stages. John can use his whip to swing over some gaps, while Eric can high jump to otherwise unreachable areas. Now, while I prefer to play as John for some of the bosses, Eric's high jump is pretty fun, and I think that people who like to speedrun games would enjoy sinking their teeth into this one and seeing how quickly they can tackle the stages with Eric, or perhaps even John in some cases. So, I'm a bit surprised that this game has not been re-released for download, because it's really good, and I highly recommend it. Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis, and assuming you don't mind paying a bit of a premium for it, I think it's definitely worth getting. Have a good one.